Hello friends, I am Shivraj and you are listening to Horror Podcast. Before starting the story with me, Shivraj, I would just like to tell you that this story is not mine. But I like this story very much, so I am telling it to you after making some changes in it. Rest of this story is very mysterious and very different. So do listen to this story completely and give your opinion. Like last time, there is another challenge for you. If you like the story, then do like and share it. The target for the story is 10 likes. We will wait for your likes. So let's read more of the story. There are many such secrets hidden in our Vedas and Puranas which we do not know even today. There are many such things which are still unknown. They are beyond our understanding. Similarly, there is another one about which people are probably unaware. I think that there is a dark world around us and there are many hidden things in that world, and for people like us, uncovering the secrets of that dark world is like finding a way in the dark with a small lamp. Whenever our ancestors tell us some stories of their time, some tales about ghosts, we often consider them nonsense. We consider the things of this dark world as lies. It is a joke. But sometimes suddenly we feel a strange feeling that these are not stories. There are some secrets hidden in them. When we feel a scary feeling, then we start thinking, how can this happen? But we do not have any answer to it. It just remains a mystery. What is left behind are questions and incidents. One such incident happened with one of my friends. You may call it a hoax or something else, but it is a living example of how someone's imagination can become the reason for someone's destruction. I will tell you later why I have said so. Right now I will just tell you about the incident which we call ghost. It can be a boon for a person, but everything has a price which we have to pay sometime or the other. My name is Niraj. Today I am going to tell you about an incident that happened with one of my friends. Although I had no experience of that incident. But I knew about that incident because my friend Abhishek told me about each one. I just don't know its end, but I know how it would have ended, so now all of you have to decide for yourself whether that incident is true or false. Has it ever happened to you too? That you are thinking something and after some time or after a few days exactly the same thing starts happening to you. Or it starts happening in front of you. You see some strange things at some unknown place. Some terrible experiences happen. If someone tells you that something bad is going to happen, there is something very terrible at some place, someone resides there. There is someone who is hovering over that place. Then you also experience bad things at that place. Abhishek often used to joke about ghost stories. He was very fond of such stories. For him, the talk of ghosts and vampires was just like some nonsense. Sometimes he would even get angry at us. According to him, all these are fake stories or things made up by foolish people to fool people. Abhishek wrote. He used to spend his time working on mobile or laptop. Sometimes he also used to tell stories about ghosts and vampires and used to talk about them with us for hours. He always told us that there are no ghosts in the world. We are just afraid of our past. We all have fears in our past. We have made some mistakes and those mistakes are ghosts. We consider them as ghosts and because of that fear remains in our mind. Whenever we get stuck in such a place or go to a deserted place, then our own past appears in front of us as a ghost and we get scared of that. Everything else is a lie. Everything is a deception. One day while searching something on the laptop, Abhishek found a link. It was a community like the one on Facebook or Reddit. The name of that community was Kaufnak Anubhav. He thought, let's see what nonsense people are posting on this community. What kind of useless things are they talking about? He immediately clicked on the link and reached that community. There many people had shared their terrible experiences. There were about 100 people who had written about their terrible experiences. Abhishek started some of them. There one person had written his experience of moving to a new house, where he was tormented by an unsatisfied soul in his new house, and eventually he found that house. A person had written about the experience of a person haunted by unsatisfied souls. Many people had shared different experiences about haunted places. Also, many people had written their remedies, mantras or methods etc. regarding ghost haunting. Abhishek had made many such posts. He was laughing a lot after reading all those experiences and the solutions written on them. Abhishek was lying on the bed and thinking, what kind of superstitious things are these that on the day of Amavasya, strike a lemon 21 times and exactly 21 hours later the lemon will get you out of trouble? What nonsense is this? And moreover, make a ball of flour on a black spot and put a morsel made of the same flour in it. Then cut the finger of your left hand and pour blood on it, then chant a mantra and then all your wishes will be fulfilled. While thinking about all this, an idea came to him. If I also share a similar false experience of mine here, then I will write a post about a false story, a fake experience. Let's see what happens. What do people think about it? And while thinking about this topic, he fell asleep. The next day Abhishek came home early in the evening. After dinner, he sat on his laptop and went to that community. He opened his new account on that community and named his account Poppy. Abhishek spent the whole day visiting many black magic websites to write a fake post about his experience. He collected some information from there. His effort was that his post should not seem false to anyone in any way. So he collected all kinds of information that people would find true. He thought about what to write and what not to write throughout the day, and then he wrote a post which was something like this. Hello friends, my name is Abhishek and today I want to share a very scary experience with you. It was 2 years ago when I went to Konkan for some work. I stayed there in a government cottage for a few days. There I experienced something very strange. There was something that was hovering around me. After 12 o'clock at night, I heard a strange sound like a strange noise, and then it felt like someone was roaming around me. But then I ignored it. On the third day I saw a figure, a small figure, seeing which I was shocked. Then he slowly came forward and asked me, "Ask what do you want to ask?" His voice was so strange that I stopped there at that very moment. Abhishek ran away from her and I spent the whole night outside at a bus stand. Abhishek was adding colors to his false story. He wrote further. The next morning I went back to the cottage in a panic, picked up my luggage and went to my house. I thought I was out of trouble, but no, I started seeing her again. Before she came, I used to hear a strange sound and then I would see her somewhere in the dark. She would come to me dragging me in the darkness and say to me, "Ask what do you want to ask?" The sign of her arrival was that before she came, I used to hear that strange sound. My body would get cold on hearing that sound. My hands and legs would start trembling. Then I told my family about it and then we decided to go to our village to solve this confusion. There was a man in our village about whom I had heard that he has experience of such things. He knows how to control ghosts and vampires. He knows the method of Tantra Mantra and also knows how to predict. So I went to his house. After going there, I told the whole thing in detail to the Baba sitting there. After listening to everything, he said that there is a vampire behind you who is both good and bad. The vampire in the cottage where you stayed has been awakened at that place. This is a vampire who has the power to fulfill the wishes of humans, and now he is stuck there for some reason. So I asked him further that how can I get rid of it? Then he said that there is only one way to get rid of it, that you ask him 3 questions, but ask the questions carefully. If you ask any strange question and he does not like it, then he will get angry. And he will sit on your neck and he will calm down only when the blood of the person who awakened him will go into his mouth. I was shocked to hear all this, that how terrible these things are. While writing all this, Abhishek was laughing at himself. That what a strange thing he is writing. He started writing again. Then I decided to ask 3 easy questions because I was afraid that if I asked something wrong then something bad could happen to me. And then the next night the vampire hidden in him came back. A strange thing came and it felt as if he was around me. Slowly he came close to me and said to me, "Ask me what do you want to ask?" I fearlessly asked him 3 questions. He answered all 3 of my questions and then he disappeared from there. After that I never saw him again, but friends, do you know what I asked him? First of all I asked 2 questions about myself which no one knew except me. He answered both the questions correctly. Then I asked him to tell me a lottery number in which I can get 1 lakh rupees, and you will not believe it. But the number he told me changed my life. But after all that happened he went away from there. So now I started feeling that I should have asked for something else. Maybe I should have asked for more. If I had asked for more, I would have become even richer. I went to meet that Baba again and told him the whole truth. I asked him that I have to call that ghost again. I have to bring him alive. What is the method to call him, and what do I have to do for that? Then he laughed loudly and said to me that you are a fool. It is good that he returned, otherwise most of the people get trapped in his trap after calling him or die. Everything has its own price. When you get something, you also have to lose something. You should be happy that you have survived safely. After listening to him, I even tried to lure him with money. But he refused this. He said that he did not want to be a partner in my sin. Whatever the Baba said, I had decided that no matter what happens, I will know the method to call him back, and I followed him. Finally, tired and exhausted, he said that I will tell you the method, but if anything good or bad happens, then you will be responsible for it, and be careful while doing this method. And then he told me further. This ritual can be performed whenever the night of Amavasya is near. It should be performed 2 days before Amavasya or 2 days after it. If you perform it on the day of Amavasya, then the chances of its success are even higher. You have to buy a simple key or make one from your nearby one. It should have hands, legs, eyes, nose, mouth, everything. Then cut your nails and make a garland of it and make him wear that garland. Then take out blood from the thumb of your hand and apply it on his forehead. Then after that make a circle of salt and keep him in that circle. After this, keep your right hand on your chest and call him. For this you have to chant a mantra. O kamana puran pishak aham tvam ahyami agach mam porna to agach mamich apurna karato aham bhavantam ahyami. Chant this mantra 3 times. If everything goes well, then after the 3rd mantra you will feel a movement under your hand. It will seem as if it has come to life, and a strange sound will also be heard. This means that the vampire has reached you. But one thing has to be kept in mind, that whatever 3 questions you want to ask her, that is the vampire, you have to write them down beforehand. You should stay inside the same circle until you get the answers to all the 3 questions. If for some reason the ritual is not done properly, then you will not feel anything in it, and there will also be no movement in it. Then you can throw it away. But if she wakes up and you do not ask her any question out of fear, then she will appear to you every night and will ask you questions that ask what you want to ask. And it is possible that if she gets angry, she may even kill you. But if you ask her questions, and even then if she is visible to you, then understand that you are in trouble. At that time, recite this 2nd mantra 3 times, and she will go away from there. Swamanam samapam pratyagantam prathayami. Bhavat karya kritam asti atham puna swamana samipam gachadu. Chanting this mantra 3 times means that the vampire will return to his original master, i.e. his owner, i.e. the one who gave him birth. After writing all this, Abhishek published his post and started thinking. He was laughing, thinking that he had written such a good post. Something that no one could deny. It was midnight at that time, and that night was the night of Amavasya. Abhishek fell asleep smiling, thinking about his story. The next day, when he returned home from work again, when he came, he had dinner and went out with his laptop open. He wanted to see what and how people had commented on his post. He saw some people's comments on his post. Many people had liked and shared his experience. People thought his experience was true. One person had written, "What a terrifying experience." In another comment, a question was asked that you were ready to pay that Baba for this method. Then why have you posted it here for free? Abhishek laughed at that comment, and later, while answering the comment, he wrote, "I want to see who has the courage to make this video." At the same time, one person had written, "What a nonsense story." Abhishek laughed a lot at this comment. There he wanted to write that you were right, but he did not do so because he wanted to see in the coming days what people write on his post, and then a few more days passed like this. Day by day people were commenting on his post. Abhishek used to go to that community every night and comment. He was enjoying doing them, and he was thinking how stupid people are. They believe anything to be true. Many people had commented on his post. Most of the people thought Abhishek's experience was true. And Abhishek was very happy with this and this thing. That day was the night of Amavasya. It was 11 o'clock at night. Abhishek was sitting with his laptop as usual. He opened the link of the forum and saw a new comment on his post. That comment caught his attention. That comment was written by someone, and in it he had written that today is Amavasya and I am going to do this ritual today. I have been preparing for it for the last 2 days. And all the other things are ready, and tomorrow I will tell you in detail what has happened. Thanks for your post. Abhishek laughed a lot at that comment once again. It was already 11 o'clock at night. Still without writing anything, he closed his laptop and went to sleep. He could not sleep for a long time because the same thought was coming in his mind again and again, that did he really do this ritual? Would she really have tried all this, and what would be the method? So what would have happened there? And thinking about all this, he got goosebumps on his body. Because even though it was a joke, it was still scary. Abhishek fell asleep thinking about it later. When he woke up in the morning, he checked his post once again before going to work. There was no comment yet. Overall, Abhishek also wanted her reaction. That day Abhishek had a lot of work in the office. While working, he did not realize when it became 11 o'clock at night. Then Abhishek came home late at night. He was very tired that night. So he ate food outside.
Please like and subscribe.
After coming home, he fell straight on the bed and slept there. It was a very dark night outside. Suddenly, Abhishek woke up to the sound of a dog barking from somewhere. Then the dog stopped barking and he started hearing a strange slow sound. As if someone was calling him, Abhishek opened his eyes in half sleep. With heavy eyes he looked around him. The light from outside was spread in the room, and in that light he saw something strange. He saw that it was a stitched one, about a foot long. Seeing it, Abhishek was shocked and woke up. Abhishek got up in fear and sat up. The hair on his neck stood up. The girl in front of him had started moving. And she was slowly coming towards Abhishek. In the deep silence of the night, he could clearly hear the sound of her being dragged. Abhishek kept looking at her with trembling eyes. He did not know whether all this was happening for real or it was a bad dream. His whole body was stunned. The girl came close to Abhishek and then she said in a strange voice, "Ask what you want to ask." And on hearing this, fear took over Abhishek's whole body. He screamed loudly and tried to run away from there, but in the meantime he fainted and fell down. The next day when Abhishek woke up, he had a very high fever. That day he took a day off from work. In the afternoon, he went to the doctor and after taking medicine, he rested at home the whole day. He thought that whatever had happened to him last night, whatever he had felt, was just a bad dream. Perhaps he had this feeling because of thinking about it repeatedly. Till date Abhishek had not believed in things like ghosts and vampires, and even now he had no solid reason to believe in them. But whatever may be the case, bad things and scary experiences remain buried somewhere inside the mind.
Please like and subscribe.
Something similar was happening with Abhishek too after resting the whole day. He felt better in the evening. After dinner, he again opened his laptop and started looking at the post he had written. Deep inside he was feeling that he had made a mistake by writing this post. And now he was thinking of deleting that post. But he thought that before deleting the post, he should check once whether he has received a reply or not. He opened the comments section of the post in which he had written that, as you said, "I did all the rituals at 12 o'clock last night. I did not feel anything for some time and hence I removed my hand from it. Cleaned the circle of salt and kept all the things in their respective places. But while doing all this, my attention was not on it. Then I started looking for the lantern to throw it away, and then I saw that it was not at its place, and then my attention went to a corner. It was in a corner of the house and I got very scared after seeing it, but I remembered the mantra you told me and I chanted that mantra 3 times. After that it became calm and went away until now nothing bad has happened to me. Thank you for your post." Abhishek's heart beat fast after this comment. Many more new comments came on that post, in which many people wrote that yesterday was the night of Amavasya and hence many people had tried that method, and after that they had written about their experience. One person even wrote that, "Thank you very much. I did all the methods as per your instructions and also woke up the lantern. I asked her 3 questions, and then she went away. Whatever you had written was true. Then another one wrote that I am sorry, but I had made some mistake while doing the method. During the method, I had called her twice and then I felt movement under my hand. I got very scared and removed my hand without calling her for the 3rd time, and then I saw that she had disappeared from there. Please tell me, what should I do next? I have chanted mantra 3 times to make her go away, but I am still scared. Abhishek closed the laptop without saying anything further. He shook his head and left. He could not understand how this could happen. His mind had stopped working. Was everything he was saying true, or was it all a lie just like his story? How could people experience what he had written as a joke? His mind started spinning. It was a dark night. The room was very quiet. There was no other sound except the ticking of the phone. It was almost midnight. It was already 12 at night. Abhishek was still sitting in his room with his face buried in his knees, and suddenly he heard that sound. Once, twice, and then many more. Abhishek raised his head in panic and his voice became louder. His hands and legs started trembling. There were not 1, not 2, but many small girls in front of him, and they were laughing loudly. His eyes got wet. His face started trembling. His whole body was drenched in sweat. And one by one all of them were coming forward. Abhishek froze in his place after seeing all this. Slowly they all gathered around Abhishek and said in one voice, "Ask what you want to ask." That strange thin voice kept echoing in the room for a long time. Abhishek fell there. He probably felt dizzy. And then he felt a light touch on his neck. Friends, what do you think might have happened to Abhishek? Whatever your logic is, but I will tell you my logic. The next day his dead body was found in Abhishek's room. I knew that he was doing something like this. That means whatever post he had written and whatever comments came on it, he had told me about all this in the office. After his death, I searched a lot for his post, but I could not find that post anywhere, and as far as my logic is concerned, Abhishek had given a mantra in his post to get rid of it, which had to be chanted 3 times, and by chanting the mantra 3 times, the girl will go back to her master. So according to me, Abhishek himself was the master of that is, the thought, the master of that vampire. He himself had given birth to that thought, that vampire. He had told that by chanting the mantra, the vampire dominating him will go to his master. But he had not thought about this. That when that vampire returns to his master who gave birth to him, then how will that master get rid of him? So friends, this is my logic. What do you think about it, and what do you think about this? You must write your opinion in the comment. And if you like this story, then please share it with your friends and relatives. And share it only with those who like to listen to such scary and mysterious stories. It is not my intention to scare anyone unnecessarily. And I will try to talk to you in the live session this Friday night, because I have to talk about something important. Now that's all for today. See you in the next episode with some such scary story. Till then, thank you.